This video from the Innovation Leaders Club will elaborate on the development of a feasible concept. An innovation concept is the ultimate deliverable of the front end of innovation, preparing you for the portfolio review. More precisely, the video will cover the 5 maturing steps for innovation and the process of developing a concept, as well as the directions to use the concept tool to detail your concept proposal and score it so that you can prioritize it. Don't forget that, as usual, you can access for free all of the content on this video, including the PowerPoint presentation, as well as the tools, if applicable, by clicking the link in the description below. Also, if you like the video, don't hesitate to drop a like, share it with your employees, your colleagues, and even your superiors, and leave us a comment down below. If you don't want to miss a video, subscribe now and get notifications for real and practical innovation management practices coming directly from club members. The Academy works to freely share meeting content discussed during Innovation Leaders Club gatherings. Through online bundles available for a fee, the Academy ultimately provides real and practical methodologies, visuals, and tools that can be edited or customized for your organization, training videos, and much more based on the Innovation Leaders Club members' shared best practices and the collective proficiency of all the members' knowledge. Here's a visual representation of the maturation of innovation results you will see with the bundle. The innovation strategy is composed of strategic arenas, which are the areas of focus for your innovation effort. A strategic arena should last between 5 and 10 years within an organization. The front end of innovation phase can be separated into 3 steps, each aimed at helping the process of maturation. The lowest level of maturity is the opportunity, and there should be multiple opportunities within each arena. Opportunities can be identified as any of the following sources: a former or latent need, a problem that needs solving, a new technology, a new trend, and so on. Ideas can then be generated to seize your opportunity, and these ideas will be more focused. This is the most embryonic form of innovation. It's step 1. A simple idea on a post-it note is what starts it all. The idea can then be refined and combined with other ideas into a concept. A concept is an idea that has been well defined. It is a one-pager as opposed to a one-liner. After teamwork and combined ideas, the process of refinement begins. It will eventually be presented at a project portfolio review, where it will compete against other well-defined concepts. Only the most promising of these will be selected, funded, and staffed. After the selection is made, resource allocation can begin and the concept will officially become a project. This selection process is vital to your organization's innovation strategy. If done correctly, it will mobilize key multifunctional stakeholders. It should get to the point where it no longer solely depends on the scope of your work or your marketing and R&D teams. The concept can then be commercialized. A concept is a detailed solution to a specific opportunity. Most of the time, it is a combination of multiple ideas or representations of the solution, such as a sketch. As an example, a club member's innovation team was brainstorming an opportunity for a new product to achieve 2 new functions, and such functions required a special manufacturing process. The manufacturing process was very constraining since they had a patent and that was imposing specific guidelines. In order to not limit the number of potential ideas, the club member ran a creative session on each function individually to identify a technology to achieve such a function. Since the technology search was highly tied to the scientific progress, they requested the participation of researchers from various universities. Without knowing which technology would be selected to achieve each function, the club member generated multiple ideas on manufacturing processes that could be used. Next, the process involves running through multiple screening processes to identify the best ideas for each. For the 3rd step, the team created various combinations of technologies and potential manufacturing processes that could be used. It led them to multiple potential concepts. Finally, they selected the most promising one and detailed it so it could be presented at the next portfolio review. An interesting fact is that the club member invited external experts from different labs and universities to attend a 2-day creativity workshop. The intent was to ensure out-of-the-box thinking. Never miss a video. Subscribe now and get notifications for real and practical innovation management practices coming directly from club members. Don't forget to click on the link in the description below to access the content discussed in this video. Whatever the tool you will use, there are fundamental sets of information required to build a complete concept and confirm its feasibility. The deliverable can take multiple forms, but usually seeks to provide details on the idea description. It can be written down or drawn, or ideally, and when applicable, both. The strategic fit within the organization. The client's benefits. The client can be who is selling, buying, or using your offering. The potential revenue, costs, and contribution to profit. The market, technical, operational, and financial feasibilities. A summarized action plan for the upcoming steps. Here's a concept template multiple club members use to develop their concept and present their portfolio review. Let's move to Excel and delve into it. It ideally fits on an 11 by 17 inch sheet or A3 sheet. The opportunity description. The concept description. How it responds to codes and standards, or sustainable development, or replaces any other information you believe is important for your organization. Then comes the validation of the operation feasibility, an evaluation of the required development effort. Notice that the effort is spread between the internal effort in hours. It scopes the project proposal. The external effort in your currency, if you have to pay for services. The expected duration, and your level of confidence in your effort evaluation at this stage of the project. Note that for each topic you can designate an owner and specify the level of confidence of the information presented to demonstrate the unknowns, namely called risk. Hence, it is clear to everyone where effort should be spent to validate assumptions or preliminary information. On the right-hand side, it details the 6 scoring criteria, which are how the concept fits in the innovation strategy of your organization and what justifies its level of importance. Then, the market feasibility is split into 2 criteria. What would be the product and competitive advantage? What is the market attractiveness? How will the concept leverage business strengths? How was the technical feasibility validated? And what would be the financial reward versus the risk, which, when combined with the required development effort, represents the final feasibility. Furthermore, you can score the criteria on the right-hand side so that each concept will be scored on a 60-point scale, which will then help you prioritize your proposed concepts. The main difference between technical and operational feasibility is simple. Technical feasibility means it may work once, namely in a lab or on a small-scale basis. When it comes to operational feasibility, it refers to the capability of making something work 100, 1,000, or 1,000,000 times. It also refers to your market capability to use your innovation and service it when there are reliability issues. Most of the club members using this tool open a second table to keep up with detailed calculations. They use the one posted as the executive summary. The weakness of this tool is its difficulty in presenting on a small to medium screen. However, it is easy to use during a web conference or when printed and bound in a large booklet consolidating all concept proposals. The benefits of using an Excel tool is that it can be tailored based on your needs and concepts and can be easily aggregated into one file by having one concept proposal per tab. For more details on the criteria, you can refer to the Criteria tab in the tool, where you will find an explanation on the rating scale. Notice there is a summary of what needs to be achieved to reach each rating scale. Obviously, you may use a score in between. For example, at this stage of the process, avoid using decimals, since there are no significant numbers considering the level of uncertainty. Here's an example of the concept deck on a PowerPoint format. It consists of a cover page with a description of the concept. Then it is followed by 4 feasibility assessments: the market, the technical, the operational, and the financial feasibilities. Finally, there is an action plan proposed at the end. Let's have a detailed look at each section. This tool is used by a club member to define a concept. The PowerPoint format is interesting since it is already formatted to be presented. The first page of the concept deck aims at describing the concept, first by naming which strategic arena it is part of. It is strongly recommended that the opportunities rely on the innovation strategy. Then the club member again determines which opportunity the concept is part of to demonstrate that it is involved in the innovation maturation process. Finally, the club member describes the concept so that everyone understands the value proposition. Often a slide is added with a visual representation so the image becomes clear for everyone. Some members' organizations promote the use of minimal viable products, namely MVPs. However, they are not required at this stage. This is particularly interesting when you have internal design capabilities which ease such processes. A concept shall be considered final when you've completed 4 feasibilities: the market, technical, operational, and financial feasibility. MVPs are often applied when there is fierce internal competition to get funding. Procter & Gamble promotes this approach, which is reasonable as long as resources are not developing the innovation before it gets funded. This is ironically called by the club members the front end of innovation, inflation. Some other club members limit the time spent by the team in developing concepts before it gets funded. As a rule of thumb, the front end part of the project should represent 5 to 15% of its development, depending on the initial unknown to explore its feasibility. Let's take a look at the market feasibility. The first box explains how the concept fits with the strategy. If the concept is issued from an opportunity which itself relies on a strategic arena, it shouldn't be too hard to explain. Moreover, this section explains how the concept will benefit the organization. The second box is meant to detail the product's competitive advantages, such as the claims that will be put up front during the commercialization. In addition, this tool details the added value the concept creates for clients and users. Finally, the last box quantifies the market size and growth rate. Such information might require buying or conducting a market survey. Also, the member clarifies the competitive situation, such as market shares of the current players, whether in dollars or in volume of products sold. It is important to note your organization may come up with other additions to include in this concept tool. It is comparable to the organization's memory checklist of what to consider at this stage. The technical feasibility aims to demonstrate that the technology works and is ready to be implemented in an upcoming offering. In the first box, the club member will explain the kinds of technology used, its benefits, and what it enables in terms of functionality. The tool explains who will provide the technology and the maturity level, such as by using the technology readiness level. In the second box, the tool aims to precisely determine the expected performance level, and the work remains to increase the performance of the desired level. Finally, if it is applicable, the tool recommends the precise certification or standardization that can be obtained with such technology. The operational feasibility aims to convince that it will be feasible to produce and deliver such innovation when it is launched. The first box details how current business strength and core competencies are leveraged. Then the idea is to make use of existing equipment, tools, raw material, etc. This way the organization can gain economy of scale and build on its current knowledge and business network, such as using existing suppliers and distribution channels. The last box relates to potential risks and the contingency plan to reduce them. The financial feasibility combines market positioning information as well as operational costs to evaluate the preliminary profitability. The first box details the price positioning and preliminary volumes and compares it to the competitive offering. With such information, the tool presents potential and probable sales based on its positioning. The second box evaluates the cost structure to justify the preliminary cost estimate for the concept. Then the last box is the combination of the potential sales and the preliminary cost, resulting in the expected profitability. The tool also suggests comparisons on existing offerings. For the financial feasibility, your organization may have to develop a more detailed spreadsheet in Excel. For instance, when dealing with a specific case, replace this page with your actual table or a summary of the calculation table. You can add 2 to 3 slides from other presentations or visual elements that will help describe the concept, such as sketches, pictures of the current offering and those of the competition, persona, trends, etc. If you have more information, please add it to the appendix. On the final page, there is a preliminary action plan that addresses the following questions. What are the steps to develop and commercialize or implement this concept? The intent is to present when important milestones in the project are expected to be reached. And who is the owner of the results of the tasks? It is an overview of what would come next if the concept is selected. Obviously, you may have already developed a very detailed project plan or innovation development process. The purpose of this page is not to go into details, but to highlight some key actions for the managing key members who will approve it. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new videos on innovation management practices discussed during the Innovation Leaders Club meetings. You may also want to get a hold of this free content, including the entire PowerPoint presentation with the text associated in the video, and if applicable, the tools presented. Here's the link to get your free package. Finally, don't hesitate to leave us a comment or watch the next video to learn even more about innovation management practices.